Hello friends, welcome to the channel. In this video, we'll be solving this reasoning puzzle based on which we will answer these three questions. You should pause this video and try to solve this puzzle. Let's walk through the solution. It says 7 persons A, B, C, D, E, F and G do different activities in 7 different months, namely January, March, April, June, July, August and November. The activities are yoga, hiking, dance, trekking, reading, camping and cycling. The months and activities are not necessarily in the same order. There are 3 persons between D and the one who does reading. Reading is not done in a month having 31 days. In this puzzle, we have to figure out the activities that are being carried out by 7 persons A, B, C, D, E, F and G, and also the months in which they perform these activities. To solve this puzzle, first of all, we'll draw a grid with 7 rows. Now, since we already know the order of months, so in the first column, we'll write down the name of the months and alongside the number of days in these months. Now, based on the months given, since reading is not done in a month having 31 days, therefore reading must be performed in a month having 30 days. And in our order, we have only 3 months that are having 30 days, which is April, June and November. If we place reading in the month of April, then with a gap of 3 persons, we can place D in the month of November. And if we place reading in the month of June, then we won't be able to position D with a gap of 3 persons. Further, if we place reading in the month of November, then again with a gap of 3 persons, we can place D in the month of April. So there are two possibilities of placing D and reading. So accordingly, we will make two cases here. One in which we will place reading in the month of April, and accordingly D will be placed in the month of November. And second case in which we will place reading in the month of November and accordingly D will be placed in the month of April. Now further it says there is one person between D and E. In a case 1, E will come in July. In a case 2, there's two ways where we can place E. One in the month of January and second in the month of July. So we will split our case 2 into case 2A and case 2B. In case 2A, we can place E in the month of January, and in our case 2B, we can place E in the month of July. Further it says, the number of persons after E is same as the number of persons before the one who does yoga. Now, if you observe a case 1, 2 persons perform their activities after E. So, yoga must be placed in the month of April. Now, since we have already placed reading there, we will have to eliminate this case. Further, if you observe our case 2A, 6 persons perform their activities after E. Therefore, 6 activities must be performed before yoga in this case. So, yoga must come in the month of November. Again here, that position is already occupied by reading. So, we will eliminate this case as well. Now, if you observe a case 2B, since 2 people perform their activities after E, therefore we can place yoga in the month of April. Further it says, A is placed immediately before the one who does dance. Now, if you observe our case 2B, if we place dance in the month of March, then we can place A in the month of January. Further, if we place dance in the month of June, then we won't be able to place A, as A is placed immediately before the one who does dance, and here that position is already occupied by D. Now, if we place dance in the month of July, then we can place A in the month of June. And if we try to place dance in the month of August, then we won't be able to place A, as the position immediately before August is occupied by E. So there are two possible ways of positioning A and dance here. So we'll make another case, case 2C. In our case 2B, we'll place A in the month of January and dance in the month of March. And in our case 2C, we'll place A in the month of June and accordingly dance in the month of July. Further, it says there are at least 3 persons between A and G does hiking. Now, if we observe our case to be, since we have to place G with a gap of at least 3 persons, we can either place G in the month of August or in the month of November. Now, since G does hiking, so therefore, there is only one place left for G, which is in the month of August. Now, if we observe our case to C, there is no position where we can place G, as we have to place G with a gap of at least 3 persons from A. So we will eliminate this case as well. Further, it says tracking is done in a 30-day month and is scheduled before C. If you observe our case to B, out of the 3 months that have 30 days, yoga is being performed in the month of April and reading is being performed in the month of November. So, tracking must be performed in the month of June. Now, since tracking is scheduled before C, therefore C must perform reading in the month of January. Further, it says the one who does cycling is scheduled before B and B does not do trekking. Since B does not do trekking, therefore B must perform dance in the month of March. And since cycling is scheduled before B, then that implies that A must be cycling in the month of January. If you observe our order, there is only one position left for F, which is in the month of June. So we'll place F there. And further, if you observe our order, camping must be carried out in the month of July. So this completes our order. We have figured out the activities that are being carried out by all these 7 persons and also the months in which they are performing these activities. So let's answer the questions. Who is immediately before the one who does hiking? If we observe our order, clearly it is E, who is immediately before the one who does hiking. So here E is the correct option. Second question, which activity is performed in the month of April? Clearly it is D, who does yoga in the month of April. So here D is the correct option. Further, it says how many persons are there between A and G. If we observe our order, clearly there are 4 persons that are performing their activities between A and G. So here D is the correct option. So we have successfully answered all the 3 questions. I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe for more such videos. Thank you.